Love is in the air. Hey guys, it's CL, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I make brand new Critical Role recaps every Monday at noon, and would be happy to have you join the party. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the Bertrand bell to be notified of future videos. Now, without further ado, let's discuss the 58th episode of Campaign 3 of Critical Role. Once again, apologies for the voice, I'm still recovering from the great honeysuckle attack of 2023. The episode opens where we left off last week, as Chetney touched a weird fleshy thing and it came to life, as a convulsing, ever-changing monster of teeth and body parts trying to take form. Yeah, he probably wasn't voted best smile in high school. Or smiles. Anywho. During the fight, everyone was rolling piss poor. Imogen accidentally started a fire after casting a bolt of lightning, the heat causing some of the roots in the room to catch. Fern even almost died, which would have been bad because if you remember, resurrection magic hasn't been working. She was knocked unconscious and swallowed by the weird skin beast, and Frida reached inside and managed to pull her free before she lost any death saves to the acid. But she did roll a 9, losing a save, but was luckily then neutralized with the Spare the Dying. Then lost a second one after the creature spat some of the weird miasma out in a radius blast. Even after Chetney had turned her unmoving body invisible to stop her from being seen. But Deanna was there with heals and gets her up to half of her health, and the party managed to take it out before the building goes up completely in flame. They then return their attention to the magic circle they found in the wall as the fire spreads, and FCG uses a 3rd level command spell to open it, revealing a satchel. The party grab it, and as they start to make their way down, the monster begins to take a new form, becoming twisted with sharp thorns and more humanoid than the amorphous blob it had been moments before. FCG blockades it inside as the tower begins to cinder with a stone-shaped spell. Although rolling kind of bad on their stealth into the surrounding forest, they manage to escape detection from the weird thorn monster and the Wolf King, stopping and resting for the evening in some dense tree cover. Finally, time to go over the loot. First of all, the satchel they pulled from the circle, a bag of holding. Finally, as much as I love the portable hole, nothing really beats the usefulness of a bag of holding. Chetney empties the bag and we uncover a decent amount of gems, gold, and platinum, a weird BDSM leather harness with brass elements, a polished burgundy wood stick, and a staff, all 3 holding some sort of magical enchantment. More on those in a bit. We also find oodles of notes. The first of the 3 bundles pulled from the bag of notes is the design process and functionality of the strange harness they found. It's a creation of Ruidus's and has an odd funnel-like opening that, well, is used to feed the root. Also within these notes is locations and information on dryads and fae in Exandria, specifically within Wildmount. So, our best guess from it is that Ruidus is using this contraption to suck the life essence of these beings in order to extend his own life and youthfulness. I mean, it would definitely make sense why he looks the way he does, even though he claims to have been around for the Calamity and before. He was also considering expanding restoration sources, quote-unquote, into the Feywild. Makes me worry what he would do with someone as powerful as Morgan. He could basically Benjamin Button it. The second batch of notes was on Ruidus. It was a long collection as Ruidus pondered why the temples are scared of the Red Moon and won't draw attention to it unlike the evils they preach on. It delves into communion rituals during Ruidus flares, moving to divine unravelings, forgotten gods, or even lost primordial theories. His obsession grows more as the emerald-crossed priests, followers of the Archheart, were stepping in and undermining his research, causing him to continue to dig and obsess until he had a strange alien dream and what we can only assume is the beginnings of his alleged contact with Predathos. I say alleged because it also seems like a lot of the notes written were based on speculation and guesswork. I mean, what if he never actually spoke with the God Eater, and this is all a crazy hunch that's gone really right for him? And that guesswork is also part of the course for the final batch of notes, which is based on a crystal well beneath Meleismere gifted by the Archheart, and he believes in his notes it could open a channel of consciousness. Whatever that means. maybe this is what caused the corruption in the Savalier Wood. What if lewdness was able to use its power or stole it, and this unnatural miasma was the result of it being used for a different purpose? Before bed, Frida allows Imogen and FCG inside their head with detect thoughts, and the pair delve into the bot's mind. They recall being brought up from stasis by Devexian. Good times with Deanna, but there's an itch when he thinks of the name Laren that they uncovered in their search earlier, and with a natural 20, Imogen helms a deeper look and triggers a long-forgotten memory. A time of war, a fight that Frida had in Aor. They were a warrior protecting an object called the Factorum, the origins of Lewdness's Malleus Keys. It all interlocks. As the memory begins to fade, Frida does remember the way that Dee found them. They were ruined. It seemed they had failed their mission during the battle, and Vexian rebuilt our rose gold friend many centuries later. The people that were attacking Frida and their people were their people. They had turned on each other. I really want to see an EXU set in the fall of Aor. Calamity is one of my favorite things the company has ever done, so I hope to see more stories around that time come to the table. Okay, back to the two items that they found in the bag of holding. The small rod they found is an attunement item to the Feywild for use when casting Plane Shift. AKA, Lewdness maybe has been taking his restoration project extraplanar just as he said. The staff is an item called the Staff of Dark Odyssey, and it can do a lot of things with its charges, but the most important one we take away from it is it can cast Teleport, yo! So the group settles down to try and figure out where to head to in the morning, tossing around names like Vasselheim as they were also against Lewdness, Uthadern to update the king and queen on their findings, Evadale, the place where Lewdness claims to be from in Isilra, Whitestone to alert the Durolos of what fate maybe have fell on their friend Keyleth, or Drusar, knowing that that might be the place their friends head to as they all have it in common. Lots of options. So FCG decides to commune in order to figure out the best place to go. After the Changebringer confirms that their friends are indeed alive, they get a terrifying message, and so does Deanna from the Dawnfather. They say that the Red End stirs from its slumber and are reaching out to their followers for help. I wonder if it wasn't only Letters and Deanna who got that message. I mean, sure, they're two of the hottest ones on that trail, but it seemed kind of impersonal, almost like it was a radio transmission going out to all of their followers. The episode ends as the party uses the Staff of Dark Odyssey to head to Shadana's in Drusar. But Laura made a face as her and Matt rolled for what happens. Anything below a 5 could spell disaster. What did you guys think of the episode? Do you think Laura was just debating everyone at the table? This would be a really bad time to lose this half of the party. It seemed like the group almost said a goodbye to Frida and Deanna this episode, but they ended up going with the Hells to Drusar. How much longer do you think we have before we catch up with the other half of the party and what they've been up to? Speaking of party, we finally had some lovin' going on. After Deanna has a really sweet conversation with Frida about her fears of them not needing her anymore, she goes to have a conversation with Chetney and kind of get some closure before a supposed goodbye, and ends up having a threesome in his wolf form with Fern. Could this be our first polyamorous couple on the show? I'd be so excited to see how that would play out with the three of them. Speaking of Chetney, his tattoo doesn't actually mean recognize the Alpha. It actually stands for the Rexentrim Toy Authority. This man's has so much backstory, and part of me doesn't even think we've scratched the surface with him, even after our little trip to Uthadern and meeting Santa. Also, how cute were the Aormaton hoodies Christian made for him and Sam? Those need to be merch immediately. Quick, get Laura on the phone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my other recaps of Campaign 3 on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Good day, my friends.